What's happening, everybody? Tom Garmer from Guitar Antihero here, and want to take just a little bit of time here, very briefly today, to talk about a really important concept that I find most beginning guitar players, frankly, skip over altogether because while it makes sense, most of us seem to be pretty oblivious to the idea itself, to the concept of it. That's the notion of making friends with the instrument before we dive in and really try to start doing some heavy duty work with the guitar. And what do I mean by make friends with the instrument? Well, it's pretty simple. You spend some time with it, okay? You get to know it. You get to know its own vibe, its unique character. Every instrument is going to have its own unique character, all right? Think of it kind of like, learning to ride a horse or, tame a dog or whatever, okay? They're not all the same. They all have their own personality. Each guitar is going to be that way too. And what I see happen all too often is with beginners, they tend to want to do this stuff, do big things right off the bat. And that's great because it shows enthusiasm and ambition and all of these other things that, we seek to master with the Guitar Antihero trainings. But the problem is, if you're not friends with the instrument, it's not going to respond to you that well, and you're not going to respond to it that well either. Think of it like you would a person, okay? You're going to come up to a complete stranger and just start doing a bunch of stuff with them and hanging out all the time and, maybe borrowing money from them and loaning money to them and, Netflix and chill or whatever, which, P.S., that means fucking for all you old folks out there. Probably not, okay? At least your chances of doing that are not going to be as high as if you get to know the person a little bit better first, okay? Get to like them, they get to like you, so on and so forth, and let things take a more natural progression. It's the same thing with guitar playing. So what we want to do is make sure we spend some time with the guitar, keeping in mind too that even if you're playing two or more different instruments that are the same make and model, each will respond differently than the other, okay? Every single unique instrument is its own unique thing, and it will have its own unique character and vibe. So we'll want to take some time to get to know it. What does it feel like in your hands? What does it feel like in your lap when you're sitting down? What does it feel like if you're standing up? Take your hand up and down the neck. Feel it. Get to know the ins and outs of the thing before you really dive in and start wailing on it. Now, if you've been playing for a while, the learning curve on that is going to be quite a bit less steep, but there's still going to be a process of getting accustomed to the new instrument. And again, in many ways, it has to get accustomed to you too, okay? We all play our own way, but that's usually, that tends to come about, at least in large part, because of the instruments that we're used to playing. So, if you've been playing nothing but Gibson Les Pauls for however long, and you get a brand new Fender Telecaster, it's not that you're not going to be able to play that Tele and maybe make it sound how you want it to, but it's going to have a different vibe, and it's going to feel differently, and it's going to respond a lot differently too, okay? Just by virtue of being, in many ways, a radically different instrument, even though they're both electric guitars. That's not even taking into consideration the unique character of that specific instrument, okay? We need to get to know these things if we want to get the best results from using them, okay? So take some time to make friends with the guitar, learn its ins and outs, see how it responds to you, and it will, you will be able to respond to it better if you want to think of it that way. In many ways, we don't play the guitar plays us. I know that's kind of cliche to say that, but in some ways it's true. So take some time in the beginning to work through some of these things. Really get to know it. Get to know what it feels like. Get to know what it sounds like. Really experiment and examine, things that maybe you like about it, things you don't like about it, and really maybe kind of think of it more like it were a person that you're building a relationship with. Get to know their quirks, their ins and outs, and when you do that, chances are you have a better give and take relationship with that person, and your dealings with them will be better overall for everyone. It's no different with guitar playing. All right? So keep that in mind, use it, and the next time you buy a guitar, make sure to follow through to that and see what happens, see how that works for you. Okay. Make sure to check out guitarantihero.com for more info on being the biggest, baddest, best guitar player you can be all on your own terms. And hit me up on Twitter at guitarantihero with any and all comments and questions. Till next time, see ya.